Hello, I'm Toycat, and today I wanted to talk about bugs in the current version of Minecraft Bedrock. And I know this is a topic that we could spend hours talking about and still have fresh content by the end, but I wanted to talk about 3 particular bugs, one of which is just a really light-hearted, easy bug that doesn't affect anyone negatively, which is something that's great about bugs in Minecraft. It's one that I really enjoy that's come back after many years, because you can sprint backwards in Minecraft again now. Isn't that a fun little thing? And the other 2 bugs are ones you're very unlikely to spot, because I only spotted them after hours of checking things, and as a result of that, I want to let you know what they were, because they came out off the never-ending road, one of which is a fixed bug in Minecraft that was never announced. I checked all the changelogs recently, could not find it on there, and one of which is a Minecraft bug which has probably been on the game for quite some time, but again, I do not believe has been found. So 2 Minecraft bugs you might not know about that might just affect your building decisions if, like me, you want to build something with Netherrack in the end. So with that said, I hope you all enjoy this video, but let's dive straight into it. So we'll start with one of my favorite Minecraft bugs of all time. Again, many Minecraft bugs you might like because they benefit you, some Minecraft bugs you like because they're wacky. This is one that literally is, it doesn't have any harmful effects to anyone except maybe in PvP, because it is the ability to sprint backwards in Minecraft. Because again, in Minecraft you can walk by tapping forwards, you can tap forwards twice in a row to start sprinting, and now with this current Minecraft bug, you can tap forwards twice in a row, then start walking behind you, and the sprinting will transfer into behind you. Again, it's a wacky thing to kind of do, but as you can see, you can just tap forwards and sprint like that, and now you're sprinting backwards. It's a pretty cool little feature that again has existed before in many years ago Minecraft Console Edition, so the fact that it's come back to me implies there's something fundamental about the movement mechanics where they have to kind of turn this off, and they maybe made a mistake and couldn't do that. But yeah, it's really fun to me, the fact that you can in fact sprint backwards if you really want to, and all it takes, again I want to give this a better tutorial, is you have to tap forwards, and you'll notice how when you do that, you'll widen your FOV. There's like this kind of moment where the screen gets much bigger or covers more area. So when that happens, the exact moment that happens, you want to tap backwards. So if you're using a control analog stick, like a lot of you are, you're tapping forwards twice and then immediately switching backwards, and by the time you switch to the backwards key, or the S key if you're on a keyboard, then you'll be able to sprint backwards. And this genuinely can be useful if you see something you're like, oh no, there's something there, because yeah, previously you'd have to be like, there's something there, turn around, start sprinting, that takes an extra half second, whereas this means like, there's something there, okay, what we're going to do is we're just going to sprint immediately backwards, can do it in a 1/10 of a second, and can already be going at maximum speed backwards. And again, technically speaking, if you want to, there is the very similar ability to just look at yourself in first person while you sprint, and you get the same kind of view. Again, it doesn't matter whether you're sprinting this way or whether you're looking this way and then sprinting that way. But the big benefit to me is the fact that, again, you can turn on a dime and you can do that if you really want to, and that might genuinely be super useful compared to the time it takes to rotate entirely. So yeah, here's a brand new thing you can do in Minecraft. You can sprint backwards if you really want to, and it's just a fun little bug that, unlike these other ones, isn't going to affect your gameplay decisions, and that's why I wanted to start with it, because the next 2 bugs, again, one is a fixed bug actually, or maybe even just a brand new feature that wasn't on a changelog for some reason, which arguably it should have been, and the other one is arguably not a bug, but arguably just a Bedrock exclusive. But again, I do think that they fixed the bug without mentioning it, and that they also introduced the bug without mentioning it. So at some point, or maybe have always had a bug or a parity thing that just wasn't known about. So we'll start with the bug that they fixed, because again, they both come from the never-ending road, the 7,000 block never and end block pathway I made in my end. Because in Minecraft, you have a hunger bar. This is not news to anyone, and the fact that that hunger bar goes down when you sprint, when you jump, when you break blocks, that also shouldn't be news to anyone. It also goes down when you heal, which is something that happens slightly differently on Java and Bedrock because of the combat update legacy, but every one of those other actions should be roughly the same between Java and Bedrock. Sprinting should use roughly the same amount of hunger, so should, so should the ability of breaking blocks and jumping, and doing all 3 of those things at the same time, which is technically possible. So here's an interesting thing that they decided to change without really mentioning it, because months ago when we were doing the beating Minecraft without ever eating run, which I thought was pretty absurd, when we were working on that run, one of the things I noticed is that when you walked, or even when you crouched around, again, crouching, sneaking, whatever you want to call it, should always have no hunger effect. Eventually, you can waste hunger from both those things. It was found in my testing for those videos. Again, whether that was a bug, whether that was a parity mistake, it was hard to say. It wasn't really out there publicly. However, something I did after 1.14.1, again, it could have been fixed in 1.14 update itself. One of the things I actually decided to do was walk for about 30 minutes to, you know, along my entire never-ending road. Again, I'll show that whole thing sometime if you want to see it. But basically, I walked for 30 minutes non-stop, and, you know, previously, this would have drained my hunger bar quite a bit. I would have had to eat quite a few steaks across that time. But guess what? As of this update, as of something that happened in the last year or so since I first started testing that run, something that happened made it so that you now no longer take any hunger, at least in half an hour. So an imperceptibly small amount, or realistically, none at all. And this is a really interesting thing, because it means that in Minecraft, you now can walk around entirely freely of consequences. So again, as long as you're walking down a mountain, you're not taking damage, you can walk wherever you want in Minecraft, as long as there's no jumping involved. Well, we took damage anyway, but you can walk wherever you want in Minecraft, and you will not take any hunger, you know, like hits whatsoever, which means that, yeah, you can explore much further and not be worried about this whole, like, oh, I don't have much food, am I going to make it home? As long as you're just walking home and doing the very, very occasional jump, or ideally not jumping at all, or using half slabs or whatever, as long as you don't do any jumping at all, you can have no hunger effects whatsoever. And this wasn't mentioned on any changelogs, and again, the fact that you might not have even known it was a thing before is why I wanted to mention it today. Minecraft Bedrock parity of Minecraft Java, a small feature was added at some point that was arguably a bug fix, and again, I want to talk about the why there's a weird difference there, because I think it's interesting, like, was it a bug or was it a parity change? I'll let you decide after we move into the next thing, because over here you can see I've got me a giant slab of netherrack. And the reason I have this is because I did a very quick test, because in my, you know, my end, I made my pathway out of netherrack blocks and out of end stone brick slabs. So the reason that's important is because Enderman, according to the Minecraft wiki and according to the Java version of the game, can pick up netherrack blocks because they're one of the basic blocks, and they're just able to do that, right? They can move netherrack around. However, that is something that might be true on the Java edition, but wasn't true for me in my entire road. Despite placing 6,000 blocks of netherrack, it's really 12,000 because it's too wide, 12,000 blocks of netherrack on that endless pathway you just saw, I placed 12,000 of those blocks, and despite that being a thing, you know, not a single one of those was moved by the time I came back. And that could be a very wild coincidence, right? I don't think it was. Or it could be the fact that the blocks were all built into the ground, and therefore Enderman can't pick up blocks from the floor, they have to take it from somewhere else. But no, to me that was still kind of like, I don't know if I believe in that. So what I decided to do to really confirm this was I placed a bunch of netherrack, 100 by 100, 10,000 of it. Then I placed some netherrack on top of it, and then I figured, let's spawn in a bunch of endermen. Let's just give them, again, as much time as they need, and let's see if a single netherrack block is moved over this time. And you'll notice how, despite them moving down, picking up orange sand, or red sand, I mean, it's called red sand, but I mean, it's really orange sand, right? Can we all agree on that? But anyway, so they picked up all this red sand and they moved it, you know, from the bottom area onto the top here. And I'm sure if we give them even more time, you're going to see how more of them are picking those things up. But despite that happening, not a single one of the netherrack blocks that we placed moved whatsoever. And yeah, I found that to be a really interesting result, that netherrack currently is unmovable by endermen. So yeah, here are 3 Minecraft bugs. One is the fact that you can sprint forwards, backwards if you want to. One is the fact that you can now finally actually, you know, walk without taking hunger damage, at least for a imperceptible amount of time. Again, a longer test would be infeasible, but basically, either it takes a ridiculously low amount compared to before, or it doesn't take any, and I imagine it's not taking any, although there's no proper bug fix to confirm that one. And then finally, we've got the fact that netherrack in Minecraft is not pickupable by enderman, by bug, or by not bug, which means that if you want to build something out of netherrack in the overworld, in the end, well, I mean, probably not in the nether, right? I mean, if you're building out of netherrack in the nether, you're probably not a very creative person. You can now do those things, and it's kind of wonderful. And I wanted to let people know about these things, because there are so many Minecraft bugs. Like, the problem with Minecraft Bedrock, the reason a lot of people tend to dislike the game is because, you know, like, tend to have issues with it, I should say, is because it's like, you don't know what's a bug and what's not. If you play any other version of Minecraft, or if you just expect the game to work how it is supposed to, sometimes things just break in ways that can cause catastrophic results. And yeah, the opposite thing kind of happens where it's like, oh yeah, but also sometimes there are some useful things that you won't know about because you're just not testing those areas of the game. Minecraft is a huge game that does have a huge issue of bugs, and that's why I figured what would be a fun discussion is if we wonder about what is parity and what is a bug fix. Is Minecraft meant to be the same game between platforms? Not perfectly, right? There are some differences. I mean, like, I've got a light block right here. This was added to Minecraft Bedrock and has no current plans being added to Java because the map-making community there doesn't make them money as best we know. But, you know, there's no plans to add something like this to the Java. Same with all the Education Edition features. So there are clearly Bedrock exclusives. There are Java exclusives that are intended to be there, whether it be the servers or whether it be some of the world generation features that just aren't being worked on for Bedrock yet, like the height of the terrain. Look how tiny these mountains are. But like, you know, there are features that are clearly going to be exclusive to one platform or exclusive to the other. And therefore, what makes something parity, you know, a parity change versus what makes something an exclusive feature? Is Enderman not being able to move Netherrack an exclusive feature that was never implemented or never was intended to be implemented? Or is it a bug that at some point, like, you know, their code just doesn't allow them to pick it up? It's not possible for us to know, and therefore it's not possible for you to build something with the real assertion that in future they won't fix this bug or, you know, won't keep this as a parity change. And that's something that does personally bother me because, again, Enderman moving around Netherrack that you expect won't be moved would be a very annoying thing. As someone who is building a desert in the end and has all the sand picked up, I can confirm, very annoying when Endermen move your stuff. So yeah, when you take into account the fact that it's not possible to know about these things, it can be really tricky to work out the line between a parity change and between something else like that. You know, what is to say, I mean, we know in this case it's not, we can look at backward sprinting, which by the way you can do in the sky too if you really want to. You can look at backward sprinting and you can say, oh yeah, this is clearly a bug. Probably, because I mean it looks ridiculous and was never mentioned. But like, if something's not mentioned and comes to the game, it's not necessarily a bug. And therefore, was the hunger change a parity change? Was it actually intended behavior before that they've now bugged and fixed that way? Or was it an accident before that they had to fix? Or was it intended to be that way before that they've now parity changed back? These are questions without clear answers all the time. And they raise the question of like, what is Minecraft Bedrock even? Is it Minecraft Java, but with all the cross-play features and all the improvements in the engine and the more development with also the store and stuff? Or is it a separate game that just shares a lot of the same mechanics? These are some fun questions that I ponder non-stop that sadly we won't be able to have real answers to ever, and you know, that's okay, I guess. But it's just something I wanted to raise because it's something that keeps me thinking today, and I just wanted to share some results that I got because of my very ridiculous project where I spent 7 hours building a road because of how, you know, every time there was a donation chat we extended the road, and therefore apparently made for a very long road. It was a fun, albeit ridiculous process that I hope you enjoyed some amount, or if not, then I hope you enjoyed this video, because you can like it if you did, you can share if you really liked it, and if somehow you're not already subscribed, make sure you do that, because it gives me an ego boost. Yeah, I get a larger number underneath my name. That's cool, isn't it? So yeah, thank you very much for watching, because I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.